Associate Judge of the VI Superior Court, Reverend clergy, other distinguished members of the platform, members of the 34th Legislature and the Governor's Cabinet that are present, members of the Virgin Islands Police Department, family, friends, and well-wishers, good morning. It is indeed an honor for us to have you here today for this auspicious occasion. I am Sergeant Ludwig Thomas, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for today. It has been some 6 months and 26 weeks ago, St.Croix Peace Officer Recruit Training Class 2022-1 assembled and commenced training for one of the most noble professions known to man. In the process, they became known as the Eagle Knights, a bond that will last forever. Now, after much love, blood, sweat, tears, some sprains and fractures, this dynamic group of young, anxious Virgin Islanders, soon to be among the best of Virgin Islands law enforcement, combining some 7 agencies, will take their oaths of office after meeting the required criteria to serve you, the members of this community. Indeed, the credit belongs to them, for their hard work becomes reality and culminates today. Governor Bryan, Commissioner Martinez, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to present to you St. Croix Peace Officer Recruit Training Class 2022-1. Please stand. I now call on Ms. Kendalise Lando for the National Anthem and the Virgin Islands March.
Good morning, everyone. And I'll be delighted to sing to you guys today the National Anthem, Right Hand on Your Hearts, as we sing. Oh, say, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? For the VI March. All hail the Virgin Islands, emeralds of the sea, where beaches bright as coral sand, and trade winds bless our native land. All hail the Virgin Islands, bathed in waters blue. We give our loyalty full to thee and pledge allegiance forever true. God bless our Virgin Islands. Humbly now we pray, where all mankind can join today in friendly warmth of work and play. God bless our Virgin Islands, beautiful and tall, beneath our sunny sky, hilltops high, hold out a welcome for one and all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lando. Please remain standing as I call on Pastor John Briscoe, pastor of Refuge Tabernacle Church, for the invocation.
Hallelujah. Father, we come before you today, first of all, to say thank you. Thank you for your goodness, for your mercy. Thank you for your grace. And we thank you for this day. For this is the day that the Lord has made. And we are here to rejoice and to be glad. We thank you, God, for the purpose in which we are able to stand before you, asking that your presence will come down in the midst right now. Asking, oh God, that your grace and mercy and love and kindness will continue to saturate the hearts and minds of each and every one according to your will. It is our prayer today, God, that everything said and done in this place will be for your glory, for your honor, and for your praise. As we give you thanks, God, for allowing us to be witnesses, oh God, of this great day. And we pray that all things, oh God, will bring your name the praise that it's due. And for this, we say thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Briscoe. You may be seated. The Eagle Knights. As I introduce to introduce the platform guests today, I start from my left. We have Mr. Gleaston McIntosh Jr., the Director of Post, a Peace Officer Standard and Training. Assistant Police Commissioner for the St. Croix District, Assistant Commissioner Sidney Elsko. Deputy Chief of Police for the St. Croix District, Deputy Chief Houston Cornelius. Deputy Police Commissioner Jason K. Marsh. The Honorable Alfonso Andrews, Judge of the Superior Court. From my far right, Pastor John Briscoe, who you just heard from. Our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Antonio Emanuel. Senate Vice President Novell Francis Jr. Our Police Commissioner, the Honorable Ray A. Martinez. And of course, His Excellency, the Honorable Albert Bryan Jr., Governor of the Virgin Islands. Thank you. As I look in the audience, I see members of the 34th Legislature that are present. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for being here. And any member of the Governor's Cabinet that are present, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. I now call to deliver his remarks, Deputy Police Commissioner, Deputy Police Chief, Houston Cornelius.
Morning. Honorable Governor Albert Bryan Jr., Senators of the 34th Legislature, Police Commissioner Ray Martinez, the Honorable Judge Alfonso Andrews, fellow officers, civilian staff, family, friends, well-wishers, class of 2022-1. Morning again. Courageous we stand. Courageous we stand, proud we fight, serving with honor, loyal to what is right. Eagle Knights. Kaka. As I look out today, I would be remiss if I don't say I'm very proud of all of you guys. I remember the pre-agility test. I remember the first day of smoking. And families, I don't mean smoking cigarette or anything. I'm talking about exercise. Right, Carter? I remember taser, handcuffing, defensive tactics, OC, traffic stop, evac, the range. When we got to this point, we knew we were just about there. But you knew if you messed up, we could have ramped it up again. In a little while, you guys, a lot will change for you, and you guys will be taking the oath of office. You will soon be able to detain someone and take their freedom away with probable cause. The public will be scrutinizing everything you do, and for good reason. You will be now held at a higher standard. Things you used to do, you might not be able to do them anymore. Places you used to go, you would not be able to go there anymore. And the friends you have, some of them, you just might have to stay clear of. I implore you to keep these goals in mind as you move forward. 1, your name, keep it clean. 2, your family, try your best not to embarrass them. 3, your agency, represent. Carry yourself respectfully. Always try to do the right thing and make us proud. 4, the people of this territory, the people of this district, the elders, the children, serve and protect them. At this time, I want to say welcome to the best government agency, the Virgin Islands Police Department / law enforcement. This is where no day is ever the same. We hope you guys and gals will enjoy this profession the same way we do and make a career out of it. Start to put in your mind where you want to be 3 years from now. Do you want to be in patrol, the backbone of this department? Is it the Marine Unit? Is it K9, Special Operations Bureau? Is it the Investigation Bureau, Forensics, a cadre? Traffic, Intel, Juvenile, School Security, or the newly formed Drone Unit? There are many areas for advancement in this department. All you got to do is stay focused, and eventually, everything gonna fall in place. I want to thank you for choosing this career, for you will be taking our places eventually. Welcome to the family.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chief. I think you forgot to tell those from the outside agency that there's still time. And after 33 years, it is still the best agency in the government. I can attest. I neglected previously to recognize the presence of our St. Thomas Assistant Police Commissioner, Maria Brooks, and our St. Croix Chief of Police, Chief Sean Santos Sr. in the back. Thank both of you for being here. To administer the oath of office, I now call on the Honorable Alfonso Andrews, Associate Judge of the VI Superior Court.
Morning, all. Would the peace officers please rise? And repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States applicable to the Virgin Islands. Let's try that one again. The Constitution and laws of the United States applicable to the Virgin Islands. And the laws of the Virgin Islands. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of peace officer with fidelity. So help me God. Congratulations to all of you. On behalf of the Superior Court, I would like to wish all of you good luck as you commence your career in law enforcement. You are about to embark on an awesome task, for you always have to be ready to serve. And so if you approach your job consciously, with confidence, with the right attitude, you will succeed. To those of you who are peace officers that will be assigned to the Virgin Islands Police Department, may you always appear at the Superior Court with ample probable cause when you show up for advice of rights. Congratulations.
I take it Judge Andrews doesn't cut corners. Ample. He didn't just say a little bit, you know. In the academy, they teach you a little bit or just enough. He say ample probable cause. To administer the certificates of completion, I call on Governor Bryan, Commissioner Martinez, and our training officer in charge, Captain Colon Watley. From the Virgin Islands Police Department, Internal Affairs Agent, Cara Williams. Ivory Carter. Katrina Joseph. From the Office of the Virgin Islands Marshal, Deputy Marshal Daisy Ramos. Deputy Marshal Akilo Brooks. Deputy Marshal Ashley Cyril. From the Virgin Islands Police Department, Matthew Cundiff. McDonald Santos. Shante Liebert. George Cleany. From the Bureau of Correction, Lawisha Nurse. From the Virgin Islands Port Authority, Chanel Hendricks. From the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital, Kenisha Henderson. From the Virgin Islands Lottery, Saida Rodriguez. From the Department of Justice, Agent Anayas Borque. From the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital, Lashana Pele. From the Bureau of Correction, Chanel Foy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for all the members of the class of 2022-1. All the members of class of 2022-1 are now living testimony of the training that they've received and the training that's giving here at the Virgin Islands Police Training Academy. And they can tell you that our training is no easy task. For a special presentation of awards, I now call on Training OIC Captain Maria Colon Watley.
Good morning, everyone. With protocol already established, welcome. 2022-1. Happy to see you here. Happy to see your families. Congratulations. Before I give out the awards, I will say a few comments, a few remarks. I'm going to continue with the trend that the Deputy Chief started. VIPD is still recruiting, like I always start off every graduation. It is not too late. We have our HR director here. So by all means, any agency that want to come over, we will take you today. You are ready swearing? You are very swearing, so it's just a quick lateral transfer. By next week, we will get you in our uniform, and you will be good to go. This will be a bitter, sad, sweet moment for me, because for every class, I look at the police recruits, now police officers, as my babies. I'm a rough mother hen, as you will call me. Yes, I'm the one that, when I come around the corner, is interesting enough, the recruits don't know if to stand at attention, salute, drop, speak. I don't know why, because I'm the nicest person ever, right, Commissioner? It's the Commissioner ignoring me. But anyway, I want to say congratulations. Not congratulations to you alone, but I want to congratulate your families. Your families play a big, big role in your law enforcement career. They have to endure you leaving sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3:45, 3:30, to come to your physical training. Your family have to endure you coming home, complaining. I'm sure that your family members know every last name of the cadres in my staff. I'm sure about that. I know it's very challenging. I sat where you are sitting today 26 years ago. And like Sergeant Thomas said, and the Deputy Chief said, I wouldn't change it for the world. So again, don't forget that we're still recruiting. VIPD is always recruiting, so come over. We have very good opportunities. As the Deputy Chief outlined all the different units, and we have drone units for all those guys that like the techie stuff. Oh, we have a lot more coming. So I know some of y'all want to come over, but we ain't gonna let them know because your agency heads are here today. But our HR director, Dwayne, raise your hand so they could know who you are. Thank you. We will give you the phone number before you leave so you can call our HR department. Guys, I really appreciate that you have completed this task. One of the most challenging things for me as an officer in charge of training is having to get rid of a recruit once you have started class. And like I told you all, a lot are gonna start, but not everyone is gonna finish. Today just begins your law enforcement career. This is just the foundation. The 6 months you spend in a class is just the foundation. It's up to you to develop that foundation and build a skyscraper that you want to build. Always head for higher heights. Serve your community with dignity, professionalism, honesty, and good judgment. You're gonna be the one, no matter what agency, that's gonna be responding to cases in progress. You're gonna be responding to the little child that got hurt or a rape victim. Right after that, you have to help the senior citizen cross the street. You have to be able to de-escalate and escalate and use what you train to do. Like I said, today is just the beginning. And today is your commitment to this community. It's just not graduation. It's just now we finally putting on makeup after 6 months and doing our hair and our nails and males looking sharp because you're in tip-top shape now, so you have a small waistline and big muscles. Guys, today everybody here and in the community are looking at you as a new peace officers of this territory. Today is your commitment to this community. Don't disappoint us. Always do the right thing when you think nobody is watching. With social media, trust me, somebody is always watching. I also want to thank my staff, Ms. Abigail. Thank you very much for all that you do. I want to thank my training staff that they have to deal with me. Okay, those that have worked with me, I like things to be done when they should be done. Ain't no procrastination because our role in the training academy is very critical. We train all peace officers in the territory, not only the recruits. And we have to make sure we do it right. Not just doing it, do it right. Trust me, I don't want the commissioner ringing my phone or the governor calling the commissioner about something that went wrong. Or I would say nobody here, the deputy commissioner, the deputy chief, I don't want nobody ringing my phone only to tell me, Captain, today's your day, you're getting a raise. But I know that don't happen often. But anyway. So I will now present the awards, but again, guys, don't forget, today, we give you your foundation. You make sure you build on that foundation and make your career what you want it to be. You make a commitment to the community today and ensure that you continue with that. My staff, again, Cadre Morales, Sergeant Casanova, just let me see your hands. I don't know, you're all over the place. Cadre Carbon, Cadre Smith, I thank you not only for dealing with the recruits, but I thank you for the job that you do. You are second to none, and I really commend you for that. And one last thing I would like to say before I present the awards, because I know my time is clicking, is that we recently had some use of force, certified use of force instructors, and this was a rigorous training. And I must thank the police commissioner who allowed us to bring down the Federal Law Enforcement Training Council, FLETC, to the Virgin Islands. That was a historic moment. And I have at least 6 officers that completed the training here in St. Croix. That's Sergeant Casanova, Cadre Carbon, Officer Benjamin, Officer Modeste, and the agent Martin from Internal Affairs. So I hope I didn't miss anyone. So thank you for the time and your dedication. It was a rigorous training that I call Carbon because Carbon was stressed out for a whole month before we went to the training. But thank you guys for fulfilling the requirement. Morales, I need your assistance to present the awards, please. Okay, the highest academic award, this is for the individual that has the highest test scores, quizzes, scenarios, exams, and that award goes to Officer Now, Judge Cleaney. Highest physical fitness award goes to Cara William and Akilo Brooks. Highest firearm awards. We had a tie, so I don't believe in ties when it comes to training. Once you excel, you excel. Ain't no tiebreaker, so what we decide is to give 2 trophies. That's LaQuisha Nurse, Inais Borke. And for the males, Matthew Condiff. The Student Leadership Award goes to, now this is an individual that had to endure all these different personalities, had to make sure to keep them in line, and was basically the bridge between the cadres and the recruits. So this leadership award goes to George Cleaney. Most Determined Award. This is an award that we came up with internally, and the purpose for that is that, guys, this training is not easy, okay? These ladies and gentlemen can tell you that. But there's a reason why we train the way we train. When you're addressing or dealing with situations in the community, like the deputy chief said, no day is the same. Some days are slow going, some days are very hectic. We gave this award because there were individuals that actually quit when we started, and there were individuals that were dismissed because they didn't meet the standards or because of an infraction of rules. Most Determined Award is an individual who, no matter what, didn't give up, and we commend them for that. This officer is Katrina Joseph. Okay, now to present the Commissioner's Award. Commissioner. This individual is the person that has the highest average out of academics, physical fitness, and firearms. They have the highest overall average. And I'm proud to present this award to Officer, VIPD, Officer, VIPD. Don't forget that we're still recruiting. Matthew Condiff. And that concludes my section. I'm going to call the post director, Director McIntosh, to come and give his awards on behalf of post. Again, guys, congratulations to you and your families, and serve the community well, make us proud, and it was an honor to have you as the recruits for the police academy for the last 6.5 months or so. Don't forget that we are still recruiting. You can call 778-2211 and ask for the HR office. Or you can come over to St. Thomas. We have no problem with that. We do have upward mobility also. We have promotional examinations that we're working on right now. We could wear these nice, the governor reminded me we have a lot of overtime. Makes your checks them look very good. We give you uniform allowances for your uniform. And we pay career incentives for your degrees. And we'll leave you, time to go to school also while you're here. So again, guys, I don't want to miss you all too much, so y'all can come over at any time. No problem. Thank you.
Morning. From the Chief's office, after dealing with the recruits, recruits at the time, now newly sworn law enforcement servants, we came up with a token of appreciation to one individual that led this class with 3 different things that that stood out to us. As I sat with the cadres, spoke with the Chief of Police, Sean Santos, there is one individual, we have something at the Patrick Sweeney headquarters called the well that never runs dry. There was some damages done to it, and this recruit took the initiative along with her class and did some repairs and brought it back to where it looks better than it was. This recruit at the time, now law enforcement, took the initiative and went up to the Kings Hill Cemetery, where she refurbished or painted over our fallen officers' grave sites. This officer was the last thing that we took notice of. Within the department, the training office, we have a flag post set up where all the different flags are, it's there for you to see. This individual went ahead and had that thing refurbished. For the initiative taken by this individual without being told to do it, from the Chief's office, the training staff, we decided to call that officer up and give her a token of our appreciation for all she has done without being told. She's going to be going for a full body massage, have her nails done, and nails meaning pedicure, fingernails, many. So I'm going to call no other than Deputy Marshal Ramos to come forward. Deputy Marshal, as you come forward. As you come forward, we just want to say thank you for all you have done while you was just a simple recruit. We appreciate your leadership. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Being that protocol has already been established, my name is Gleston McIntosh Jr. I am the Executive Director of the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council, also known as POST. On behalf of the Council, I would like to say congratulations on receiving your Virgin Islands Peace Officer certification. Your hard work and commitment to successfully complete the required courses and certifications are hereby officially recognized. Give yourselves a round of applause. This certification brings new responsibilities relating to your personal conduct and actions. It is my sincere hope that you truly understand the importance of maintaining your peace officer certification. I urge you to continue to learn the laws within the Virgin Islands Code and to also familiarize yourself with the post-administrative rules. Knowing your agency's or department standard operation procedures is also important because it guides you through your daily activities. Becoming a peace officer is an awesome responsibility and accomplishment. Take pride in the oath that you have taken here today. Always try to advance your training and your education. At times, this job may seem thankless, but it is your responsibility to serve and protect the citizens of this community. You are now part of a brotherhood and a sisterhood that look out for each other. Please don't forget the oath of office you have taken here today once again to uphold the laws of this territory. Be safe in your daily activities, and remember never, never to forget what you've learned at the Training Academy. Once again, congratulations to all, and may God bless and lead you in your daily activities. All right, at this time, I would like to present the POST Award. The POST Award goes to the top 2 officers who receive the highest academic score in the class. At the end of the probationary period, POST will pay for off-island training or on-island training for those officers to attend to further their education and their training. At this time, I would like to recognize Peace Officer George Cleaney and Peace Officer Arsdale Cyril. What we put together is just a bag that has several different trinkets from POST. They also would receive a POST challenge coin and also a lapel pin. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. To deliver remarks on behalf of the class, I call on Officer Ivory Carter.
Good morning, everyone. With protocol already established, good morning to all distinguished guests, family and friends in attendance, and everyone viewing via live stream. Welcome. We were taught the bare minimum isn't actually effort, but maximum effort, not strength or intelligence, will be the key to unlocking our greatest potential. I start my speech by these words because this was a journey. You name it, this class has been through it. Major medical outbreaks, family life, class squabbles, and death affected us. But where do we all stand? Here in front of you today. We all got through it. Your past life doesn't define you, but your chosen goal and execution does. The class of 2022-1 answered the call of service, deciding to join the family of blue. It was stressed to us that the law enforcement community needs you. So to be the best, you must prepare for the road ahead. Early mornings with intense physical training, late nights with simulation scenarios and classroom discussions made us capable and deserving of sitting in this room with you today. We have been tested mentally, physically, intellectually, and emotionally. We are prepared and ready. We say thank you to the many cadres who stated that the sweat and tears won't last, but our high performance, dedication, and determination is what will indeed separate our class from the rest. This reminded us that the people of the Virgin Islands deserve no less. We also say thank you to the many instructors who gave us their time along our journey. We are forever grateful and indeed lucky. They preach that integrity and honesty are the qualities that will advance our law enforcement careers. But having a kind heart, an understanding mind, and applying objective decision-making is what will build roots with the people, our people. The 2022-1 class is tasked with bridging the gap between law enforcement and the Virgin Islands community. We are ready and accept the challenge. In closing, as we've taken our oath today, we made a promise, not just to ourselves, but to our fellow officers, family, friends, and the community to be the best that we can be and to uphold the laws of the Virgin Islands. I leave you with these words once again. Minimum effort does not create maximum effect. In whatever you do, always put your best foot forward because greatness will come in the end. For the class of 2022-1, it will forever be courageous we stand, proud we fight, serving with honor, loyal to what is right. I say thank you. On October 11, 2022 begins our journey. I now give the floor to Marshal Akilo Brooks and Officer Chanel Foy for the presentations to the cadres and the instructors that guided us along the way.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marshal Akilo Brooks, President of the 2022-1 Eagles Night Recruit Class. Standing beside me is Vice President of the 2022-1 Eagles Night Class, Officer Chanel Foy. It is our honor to stand here before you to thank each instructor, cadre, personnel who played a crucial role in our lives throughout these 7 years. It really wasn't 7 years, but it felt like 7 years. It's 7 months. We thank each instructor who took time out their busy schedules to illuminate and prepare our minds for our careers. To the cadres, thank you for conditioning our minds, bodies, definitely our bodies, I still sore, and souls for giving us the maggots, an opportunity to gain and maintain discipline and integrity. You've become an integral part of our life and our career. As the officers of the Eagle Knights Recruit Class of 2022-1, we want to thank you again. From the bottom of our hearts, we present each one of you a token of our appreciation. At this time, we will call up the instructors and the cadres to receive the gifts from the Eagle Knights class. Of course, we're going to start it off with Captain Maria Colon. Chief Sean Santos. easy here. Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Chief Houston Cornelius. I remember coming the second week in the class, he was very serious about everything. I need soldiers. Detective Michael Jules. Is he here? Jules. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And another thing for DT, all we hear is knees, 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 knees. And when sleep saying knees for a couple nights. Detective Melissa Gilbert. Arrest. Next we have Detective Dirk Marshall. Where is Dirk? Dirk Marshall, we appreciate you so much. You know, you have to have thick skin to deal with Dirk Marshall, but he's going to get, I appreciate it very much because he makes sure, he's very serious about his job and he's gonna make sure you get what you need to get. So Dirk Marshall, I really appreciate it. Detective Moses President.
Welcome to the club. Good job.
Yes. Attorney Amy Simpson. Is she here? Officer John Pierre Modeste. Detective Aisha Jules. Executive Director, Mr. Tony Emmanuel. Officer Rashid Bratwit. Detective Gregory Bennerson. Sergeant Casanova. We appreciate Sergeant Casanova. He came on board and he just laid it down. Every time he talked, he'd be like, listen. Like, serious. Thanks a lot. No problem. Cadre Carbon. She always said, get together. Next thing is 6 inches. If you plan on coming, your core gonna be very strong. Very strong. Because she gonna work on her abs every day. We appreciate you, Cadre Carbon. Cadre Smith. Too easy. And the saying too easy is, Cadre's could say do 100 push-ups, he could still say too easy. Be like, what? Too easy? It's 100 push-ups. Cadre So, I don't know if y'all know, everybody knows what's a tornado, but do you really know what a tornado is? This is the king of tornadoes. You know when you are a child and you go to the top of the hill and you call on the hill tornadoes? This is the tornado king right here. So every time he come, Cadre Peter come, if his car pull up, you straighten it up. You're getting nervous, everything, once he come. We appreciate you so much, though. Senior Cadre Morales. I call Senior Cadre Morales the quiet storm, because when you send an attention, of course, he won't come up to you in your face. He'd go around and come in your ear and be like, what are you doing? You think you're special? Like, me, you know. That's all we have. Thank you. And enjoy the gifts, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You could tell that training was fun. And in most cases, it is. And you know, every graduation, in as much as we always joke about, we extend the olive branch and recruiting and inviting them over. Although I see two people laugh all the time, I know they don't take those jokes very lightly, and that's Marshall Walcott and Director Testament. Because they probably come to these graduations with their fingers crossed, hoping and praying that their people aren't any of the individuals that are going to pick up what they're saying or what's being said. But nonetheless, you know, we very seldom turn people back. And I think we've done enough recruiting for the day. You've got the numbers, you've got the governor reminding you about overtime and upward mobility and the whole 9 yards. So the proof is in the pudding. Our keynote speaker for today really and truly is a man who does not need an introduction. He has been in law enforcement for more than 25 years, starting out in Montgomery County, Maryland, retiring as deputy commander and serving 25 years at that agency. He came back home. He had he'd been in the private sector before joining us at the police department, and that's why he's no stranger to us, because he has held quite a few acting managerial positions in our department, from consent decree manager to, I believe, internal affairs director and training director before he left us and went to post, and now he has a bigger position in the government as executive director of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Ladies and gentlemen, I present our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Tony Emanuel.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's really cool to be up here because as the instructors were getting awards, when I worked at Post, a lot of those instructors I actually taught in instructor school. So I was really proud to see them get awards and be up here as teachers. It's an amazing thing. Teaching is a gift, and I'm honored to be here for a couple of reasons. One is that when you're allowed to speak at a graduation, it's like the capping of your career. You know, if I was an attorney, I'd be speaking at a law school. If I was a doctor, I'd be talking at a medical school graduation. So to speak at a police academy graduation is like, it's like capping my career off. So I'm honored that the class has asked me to speak, and honored that the staff, the VIPD staff, has allowed me to continue to teach at the police academy. I also want to acknowledge your families, and we're probably going to hear that message over again. I can't stress enough, in agreement with Captain Colon, that your families are the most important part of your career. And I hope that as you ascend through your career, that you don't start to shut them out. It's very important. So, as you heard, I was a teacher. I was one of the instructors at the academy. And one thing I taught, I taught the touchy-feely stuff, the brainy stuff. I didn't teach the sexy stuff like Cornelius, the defensive tactics and the firearms and the driving fast. Although I taught that in the past, I didn't get to teach it this time. But the stuff I taught was the criminal justice system, ethics, customer service-based policing, de-escalation, and my personal favorite, procedural justice. So, you heard a little bit about my bio, where I came from through in the past. I've been through this law enforcement stuff a long time, and it's ironic that this year, 2022, is a lot of anniversaries for me, all right? It's, you think about it, 15 years ago, I retired, and I moved back home to the Virgin Islands, so I'm here. This also marks, for Clinty will understand, this is the 247th year of the Marine Corps birthday. I was a former Marine, so that's important. 100 years ago, in 2022, was when my police department, where I worked in Maryland, Montgomery County, was established. And about 40 years ago, I sat in this very same position at my graduation, not more than a month ago, 40 years ago. So over that career and the things that I've done since I've been there I was sitting at my police graduation, my family and a few friends in the audience, all of us in the class excited to get on with this. We had practiced the graduation, what we were going to do. We just wanted to get out of there as soon as we could, get in that car, drive license siren, lock up the bad guys. That's what we're waiting to do. But we had to go through the ceremony thing, pin on your badge, and take the oath. And listen to some old retired guy give words of wisdom. Well, here I am. I'm that guy. At my graduation, we had an old retired sergeant from my department come in and give words of wisdom. And I tell you the truth, in total transparency, after all this time, I'm not really sure everything he said, but a few things did stick with me. I hope they stick with you. He said, you're getting ready to embark upon one of the best jobs you could ever have. Being a police officer is an amazing position. He said, the great thing about it is that you are now about to every day is going to be a different day. And you have free front seats to the greatest show on earth. A 3-ring circus every day, and you're getting paid to look at it. And what is it? It's the human condition. And you're out there in it every day. Job is going to be like no other. Some of this stuff you just cannot make up. Some of it will be amazing, filling you with joy, make you proud. Some of it will be absolutely hilarious, and you can't wait to get home to tell your loved ones about it. While some of it will damn near make you want to quit. Some of it, I don't believe God intended humans to ever really have to bear the witness. That's why I'm thanking you in spite of today's climate concerning law enforcement, you still came on board. Despite the risk associated with the job, you still joined. And although challenges of the training at times may have been rigorous physically, mentally, emotionally, you persevered through it. So thank you and congratulations on your achievement. Recently, I was blessed to have been selected as Executive Director of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. I'm grateful for that opportunity to be able to continue to serve my community in this capacity. It's a slight shift from my norm because I was a career police officer. I believed in enforcing the law. The Office of Gun Violence Prevention is not an enforcement arm. We are an outreach unit. So we are looking at gun violence as a social and health issue rather than a criminal issue, therefore making our mission an outreach approach. So it's going to be a lot different. Our goal is to attempt to reduce the violence by trying to mitigate the feelings of desperation and disenfranchisement among our at-risk youth and adult residents. We believe we can do this by connecting appropriate resources and services to those that are in need. To be successful, it requires collaborative interagency support and cooperation. More importantly, it takes all of us as concerned citizens to take a stand against violence, have courageous conversations with others condemning violence of any type. I want to add that Governor Albert Bryant, before I even took over this job, created an advisory committee that exactly does that. It forces a lot of agencies to be together, to work together. And I really appreciate Commissioner Martinez's support. He was on the ball with this long before he even got the job. So the weird thing is that, I don't know if you guys remember, when I worked in Montgomery County, actually, this month, actually October 2nd, started the 20-year anniversary of the sniper incident. Remember the sniper case? Those two yahoos are shooting out the back of the car? Okay, I was the assistant to the chief, and we handled that case. And so it's a 20-year anniversary for that, actually. It's funny how your life sets you up for things later. Because in that job, I had to assist the chief in coordinating multiple government and law enforcement agencies to do this massive manhunt basically across the country. And the investigations led to his arrest later on, like the 23rd day of October. So it sets me up for where I'm doing now. So I believe we have an opportunity to make a difference. I don't know if this is my calling. I guess you grow into things as you move through your life. I remember when I joined the Marine Corps, I thought, being a Marine was my calling. And then I became a police officer. And then I thought, okay, being a cop is my calling. And then I started teaching at the academy. And I thought, oh, well, teaching is my calling. And I became a professor at University of Maryland. So I really like teaching. And I came back here. I worked for Post, and I was still doing teaching. So I think teaching was my actual thing. But I think it leads to saving lives and changing minds one person at a time. Maybe that's my calling. I'm dedicated to this mission. I took this job because I have a personal involvement. You know, I could probably scan this room and find many of us have been touched by gun violence, and I have as well. As I stated earlier, my office is not a law enforcement office, but something I am bringing from law enforcement to my office is one of the things I taught was procedural justice, and I'm bringing those ideals of procedural justice to my office. It's how I manage. And when you think of procedural justice, you're probably thinking that's some police stuff, right? But over the years, it has changed and moved from not only being involved in police and justice issues, but also just good management of organizations. And you'd be right, because it came out of the Obama administration as they looked at 21st century policing and how we needed to change how we do policing. Remember the Ferguson incident in Missouri and several other events that occurred during that time that sparked this investigation. And what it said, that agencies should adapt the pillars of procedural justice. And what are those? And that was one of my classes. So right now, we're going to go back, and I'm going to treat all of you as if you were in my recruit class, and I'm teaching you. All right, so the pillars of procedural justice. There are 4 of them. There's going to be a test later. 4 of them. Transparency. All right, when we talk about transparency, we talk about the ability to make sure that you're open, that you share all the information, that there's no secrets, everything's above board, that the community understands exactly what you're doing and how you operate. All right? And then there's fairness. Fairness speaks to treating others equally and everyone the same. The next pillar is impartiality. Impartiality, it sounds a lot like fairness, but it's not exactly the same thing. Impartiality talks about when you're making decisions, that those decisions are done based on true fact and how you've come to those decisions, not thinking about nepotism, relationships, prior ideas, all right? So impartiality. And the last one is voice. Voice means that you want to give the people that you have to deal with an opportunity to share their information as well as you're giving them information. Information is power. Most people don't like the process, but if you explain the process to them, you explain what's happening to them, they may be more willing to cooperate. This job is hard enough as it is to have to wrestle people to the ground. If we can stop and take a pause and talk to them first and try to get them to do it. So with that voice comes purpose and intent. Let's talk about purpose and intent for a minute. Stay with me, we're close. I promise to bring this around just like a Southern preacher, all right? So I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Fugitive? Anybody? I might be dating myself, but it actually used to be a TV show too. But The Fugitive, right? So I'm gonna tell you the story. So this guy, he gets accused of murdering his wife. And on the way to prison, the prisoner transport bus wrecks. And it breaks open. He escapes, and he decides, since he's escaped, he's going to do the investigation himself and clear his name. Because, spoiler alert, he was framed, right? He didn't do it. Somebody else did it. The one-armed man did it. So he's out there chasing this guy down. Well, there's a federal marshal that's hot on his trail after they escape from the bus, right? So he's trying to track him down. And there's a climax of the movie where the two men are faced off, and the marshal's like, freeze, put your hands down, get on the ground. And the fugitive goes, but I'm innocent. And the marshal goes, I don't care. Anybody remember that? That's the line. I don't care. Because of purpose and intent. This marshal's intent was to make the arrest, right? His purpose was not to decide this man's guilt or innocence, okay? So think of purpose and intent. So I'm going to take this moment to illustrate this concept, because when you train, you have to give a concept and then you illustrate it. So I'm going to illustrate this concept. When I worked for the Virgin Islands Police Department, like they said, I held like several positions. And I was, I think at this time I was acting director of standards or something. So we were in a meeting working on policy, this very complicated matrix, the disciplinary process. And Chief Santos, don't walk away, I see you moving. Chief Santos was in this meeting, and we were, these meetings, they become very emotional and because people are very passionate about the agency, and so we were trying to change some things. And in the meeting, Chief Santos is giving his opinion, and I'm locked in my idea of something, and I go, he says whatever he says, and guess what I say? I don't care. Because I was focused on my purpose or my intent, depending on the angle. If I could take back that moment and reverse that conversation, I would. And while you're here, Chief, I apologize for doing that, because that did not stand up to the ideals of procedural justice. I did not allow his voice to mean what it should. And I failed as a leader in doing that. So when I reveal this, what I'm saying to you guys, you new police officers, is that you're gonna get it right probably 95% of the time. And then there's gonna be one of those 2 or 3 times that you're not gonna get it right. And I need you to be able to say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and fix it. And always stand by it. Somebody said be honest, have integrity. We're gonna give you guys all kinds of stuff, training, the new drones, and all this battle rattle that you carry around on your waist that you can use when you have to. You're gonna train how to use it. But the biggest, strongest, most important tools that you have are your compassion and your discretion. We're gonna give you a badge. It's shiny, it's layered, and it's all pretty. And you're gonna be asked to give it back at the end of your career. And when you turn it back in, I and everybody up here probably prays and hopes that when you turn it back in, you turn it back in the same condition that you got it. No nicks, no cracks, no dents. Yeah, it might have a little tarnish on it just because of the time you had it, but because of your integrity to how you do your job and what you stay through it, you're going to bring it back in the same condition that you got it. We demand that of you. And last but not least, I want to share something with you that I think is timeless. So we talk about your families and you being a police officer, and how Chief Cornelius talked about how your life is going to change. Well, here, listen to this. It's going to be awkward having a police officer around the house. Friends drop in, a man with a badge answers the door, temperature drops 20 degrees. Can't go to or throw a party because that badge gets in the way. All of a sudden, there isn't a straight man in the crowd. Everyone becomes a comedian. Hey, don't drink too much, or the man with the badge is going to run you in. Or how's it going, Dick Tracy? How many jaywalkers did you get today? Then there's always that one guy who's going to come to you and say, how many donuts or free coffee did you get today? All at once, you lost your first name. You're a cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a pig, a dick, John Law, the Fuzz, the Heat, 5-0. Nobody remembers your name. You get broad brushed with actions of very few, and very few people look past a uniform or badge to see the real you. It isn't much of a life unless you don't mind missing birthdays, anniversaries, or your kids' ball games because you're being held over or getting called back to work. It can be stressful unless you like working weekends and holidays at a job that doesn't pay that well. Yeah, the pay is adequate. There is a lot of overtime. And if you save properly, you might be able to put your kid through college, but you're probably going to, if you're planning to see Europe, it's probably going to be on the internet or on TV. Then there's your first night on the beat, when you try to arrest a drunk in a bar and they rip your uniform to shreds, and you'll buy another one until you get reimbursed. You're going to rub elbows with the elite, murderers, robbers, addicts, thieves, bums, troublemakers, girls that can't keep an address, and men that don't care. Liars, cheats, con men, the class of Skid Row. And then there's a heartbreak, unfed kids, beaten kids, molested kids, lost kids, crying kids, homeless kids, hit and run kids, broken arm kids, broken leg kids, dead kids, not to mention stabbing victims, domestic violence victims, crash victims, gunshot victims, and other assault victims. The old people that nobody wants, the relievers, the pensioners, the ones that walk the street, those that tried to make it but died alone, and you had to be the one to find them. You'll handle your beat and try to hold it together, and when it breaks, you'll pick up the pieces. And do you have adventure in your soul? Well, you better, because if you're going to do that in a patrol car, it's going to be a thrill a minute, or realistically, more like hours and hours and hours of boredom punctuated by seconds of terror. When you get an unknown trouble call, hit that hot call at 2 in the morning, never knowing what you might meet. A kid with a knife, a pillhead with a gun, or 2 ex-cons with nothing to lose. You have plenty of time to think. You'll draw lonely, drive around in a police car by yourself with nobody to talk to but the radio. After about 4 or 5 years, you'll have experienced maybe the ability, desire to be a detective. For every crime that's committed, you'll have 300 suspects to choose from. Most of the time, you'll have a few facts with a lot of hunches. You'll run down leads that dead end on you. You work all night, stakeouts that could last a week. You do legwork until you're sure you talk to everyone on this island. People who say they saw it happen but really didn't. People who did see what happened and won't say a thing. Others will insist they were there, but they really weren't. People who will remember and others who will try to forget. Those who tell the truth and those who lie. You review files until your eyes ache. And paperwork, you'll fill out a report when you're right. You'll fill out a report when you're wrong. You'll fill out a report when you're even not sure. You'll fill out one listing your leads. Fill out one when you don't even have any leads, and you'll make out a report on the report you made. You'll write enough words in lifetime to write a book or even stock a library. You'll learn to live with doubt, anxiety, frustration, court decisions that tend to hinder rather than help you. Graham versus Connor, Tennessee versus Garner, Terry versus Ohio, Miranda versus Arizona. You'll learn to live with a district attorney testifying in court, defense attorneys, prosecutors, judges, juries, witnesses, and sometimes you're not going to be happy with the outcome. And after all that, there's also this. There are about 1,000 men and women in this territory doing law enforcement because they know that being a police officer is an endless, glamorous, less dirty, thankless job, but it has to get done. They go out and do it without hesitation every day. Most of them wouldn't trade it for the world. I know it too, because I'm damn glad and proud to have been one of them. That dialogue that I just said was from a TV show from the 60s, Dragnet. That was Joe Friday talking to a young police officer in an investigation. It's still, and I did a little editing to it to make it more common, but it's still prevalent today. Law enforcement doesn't really change. Yeah, we have more bells and whistles and drones and toys and stuff, but the process of you getting out there, talking to people in the community, making connections with other agencies is the way you're going to live your career. You can't battle and fight people for 25, 30 years. I learned it the hard way. So, at the start of this, I thanked your families and friends, and I thank you for your sacrifice. This career has its ups and downs, challenges and opportunities. If I had to go back and do it all again, I would. I may regret some of the mistakes I made, but those mistakes shaped me for the way I am today. How your career goes depends a lot on how you manage yourself. Use those pillars of procedural justice. Treat others the way you would want your family members to be treated. Congratulations, Class STX 2022. Glad to say I was a part of it. Do your best, be your best, and most of all, hey, wait a minute, be careful out there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. To deliver his remarks, I now call on your police commissioner and my boss, the esteemed police commissioner, the Honorable Ray A. Martinez.
Good morning, Governor Albert Bryant Jr., Reverend Clergy Pastor John Briscoe, the Honorable Judge Alfonso Andrews, Vice President of the 34th Legislature, Novelli Francis Jr., other members of the 34th Legislature in attendance, fellow cabinet members, VIPD senior staff, supervisors, officers, and others in attendance, family, friends, and well-wishers, but most importantly, the Eagle Knights of St. Croix Class 2022-1. It's only fitting that I'm standing here at this juncture. As a matter of fact, I think once I'm holding this seat, I'm going to change up the protocol because I don't want it to appear that I'm plagiarizing anybody's statements that have been made earlier. Usually I like to go off the cuff, but if I did, you would think that I was just listening to everyone else before me and then using their words. So I'll go ahead and read, for probably one of the first times, my prepared speech. I'll also take this time to throw a shot at the legislature, because when I went up just a few months ago for my budget testimony and preparation of it, when my team had put it all together, it was about 44 pages. And I thought that it was just too much. So I stayed at home the evening before and cut it down to 22 pages. The 22 pages that I cut out, because the legislature is here and they can't question me on it, buckle up, because I'm going to put them back in now. Okay. It is indeed a pleasure for me to stand, and before I go, again, since I am the big guy in the VIPD, the class, I'll tell you, I know you guys are laser focused by our training academy, but I'm giving you the directive now because I'm higher than the captain. You guys can smile, right? Because in my remarks, there's some stuff about smiling, so if you don't smile, then you're throwing my remarks off, right? Or do I need to give you guys a directive? I won't this time. But it is indeed a pleasure for me to stand before you today offering congratulatory remarks. Eagle Knights, pat yourselves on the back. You are now members of the most difficult yet rewarding profession. Your resiliency from day one at the Academy until today is truly apparent. As I look out and I see, scratch that. I was going to say, as I look out and I see ear-to-ear smiles. Let's change that. As I look out and see your stern faces ready to go to work, I see each of you, one thing, radiating with a sense of fulfillment. At this moment, I myself am genuinely enjoying it. You see, more times than not, when I am behind a microphone, it is because of something tragic often by way of violence, which has occurred in our community. My job is then to advise the public of what has happened, to quell fears and anxiety, and to increase the trust and confidence of law enforcement is on top of it. Press briefs are my least favorite duty. If I could avoid them, I would. But why mention this to you here and now? Why am I, as police commissioner, telling you this on what is understandably your day? Simply put, you're an extension of me, and I you. Our actions or inactions cross paths and affect each other positively and negatively. I arise daily ready to take on the challenges of administrating the VIPD with the understanding that my decisions may affect the public's perception and confidence in law enforcement's ability to safeguard them. You too will arise each day to take on the challenges of engaging with the public during your calls for service. Your actions will have a resounding effect on the community's perception of law enforcement's professionalism and the trust they place in you and your fellow officers. In addition, as your leader, I am always judged by your actions and, in short, the actions of every one of us in this noble profession. Individually and collectively, with this comes great responsibility. You see, perception is reality. When perceived as a good officer, the reality is you will become a good officer. And good officers are what each of the agencies represented here today require. Everything, and I mean everything we do is for and about this community, our community. If you remember only one thing I said today, I ask that it be that. That person that you showed empathy with, or the child you will take time to say hello to, will long remember you. And that engagement can be the impetus to increase the trust and confidence that sometimes is lacking between the community and law enforcement. Law enforcement nationally is in quite a predicament, with communities questioning whether they want decreased law enforcement. This, however, is not the case here in the territory, our home. Our community wants police officers, law enforcement officers in totality. Do not subscribe to the ignorance or misinformation spewed by the less than a handful, a very small percentage of the social media or talk show disruptors that can be heard daily. The Monday morning quarterbacking by spineless individuals who find fault with every action taken by law enforcement. At the end of the day, none of those individuals who demonstrate continuous cowardice and would dare to take, none of those individuals who demonstrate continuous cowardice would dare to take the leap of faith as you have, which is to support this community with dignity, with pride. Moreover, who do you think they call when they have a problem? It will be you, each and every one of you here today. I ask all law enforcement officers in the audience to stand at this time. Each of you. And I take this seriously, the statement I just made. Look around. Class 22, 2022-1, stand. Stand. Stand, guys. Stand up, guys. I keep telling you guys, I outrank the captain. I want you guys to turn around, look into the audience. Take a good look. These folks that are standing in here, these are your brothers and sisters. These are the ones that are going to be working beside you. They're going to be walking into the darkness in front of you, beside you, and actually watching your back as well. They will be the ones, despite all the negativity that you will hear, despite all the fact that how law enforcement can be vilified and bombarded with negativity and disparaging comments, they will be the ones that you will be working aside. And I tell you, you want no other, better, greater individuals to be working aside. You guys can turn around. Officers, thank you. You may be seated. Class, you may be seated as well. Guys, team, it's a great day today. You guys have crossed a threshold. I am so proud of you. This community must be proud of you. Your families are definitely proud of you. The step you have taken is taken but an iota of individuals, just a small percentage. And I say all of this because I want you to understand there will be good days. There are three things. I think when I spoke to you guys in your class, I told you that you're going to have good days in law enforcement. You're going to have not so good days in law enforcement. And then you're going to have some terrible days that are going to make you question why you joined law enforcement. But I can tell you this. There is no law enforcement officer in this room who has gone through those three, who has experienced those three, that has quit because of the really bad days. I thank you guys for being here because you're the ones that are going to quell that anxiety of the community, especially in those really bad days. It's only fitting that it's you. You are chosen. You didn't choose yourselves. It's some higher power that chose you. But I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Because no one else deserves to be sitting in those seats as you are. I'll conclude by telling you this. Wear your badges with pride. Respect the authority you possess and wield. Exude confidence, but remain humble. Never stop learning. And more importantly, strive with an undeniable and unyielding desire to make your agencies better than you found them. Keep in mind, you represent those that came before you, those that walk alongside of you, and those that will come after you. Pray and keep your family in your midst. You cannot do this alone. And I repeat and emphasize, you cannot do this alone. But most of all, have fun and enjoy this ride. Welcome to the family. You know, it's my show, so I didn't really want to introduce the governor. I was just going to bring up the clergy and just close off there. Because each time he and I are at an event and I speak, that he comes and he just blows my speech out of the water. But it is my pleasure, without further ado, to introduce for his remarks the Honorable Governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Albert Bryan, Jr.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's still morning. Good morning. I'm going to say, I know it's been a lengthy program, so I'm going to, y'all can sit down now. I outrank the captain and the commissioner. You know, I don't know how y'all ain't running out of here after those last two speeches. Like, damn, dead children and crying people. It's like, it's horrible. Thank you for still being here. Before I forget, I get excited. So I had to forget to really say thank you to you for showing up for our community. And thank you to law enforcement. I'm going to big up VIPD because we're on schedule now. We will have less than 90 days in a year to have the lowest murder count in 20 years, if we could. So that takes all of us. But every time I come to these things, right, you guys have a heavy attitude in here today. This is a celebration, right? Let's clap up the recruits first. The new officers. Congratulations, right? Woo! Every time I come to one of these, I just think like being a police is just like being governor. For real. First of all, you go through this like rigorous thing where they test your will and your determination, your commitment. Your family's pissed at you, your friends are pissed at you because you're not spending time with them and your whole focus is on this thing. You call it academy, we call it an election. Then you get through and everybody's like, we were on your side all the time. They show up here. In your world, it's called a graduation. In my world, it's called an inauguration. We take the same exact oath, except you say police officer and I say governor. Tregenza says lieutenant governor. It's the same exact oath. You join a fraternity and sorority, a group of people where their reputation immediately becomes your reputation. And a lot of times they're not good. Yours is called the police. I joined the politicians. You should feel good. Ours is worse than yours. As soon as you join the politicians, you're like the devil. People who loved you be like, you're a damn politician. We both like speeding. I like speeding. Y'all see me go down in a Mustang? So on point. We both go through a tribunal where we plead our case, and most of the times, they don't understand this. Yours is called court. Mine is called the legislature. But we see people at their worst times, and a lot of people count on us. And they count on us the most. They don't pay us any mind when things are good. When things are good, they ain't studying us. And it's definitely not because of us. Nobody gives us credit for the stuff we stop from happening, you know. We don't. Law enforcement does stuff every day, whether they shake down a corner, take a gun from somebody, stop somebody from crashing. And by the way, you guys are doing really good. You stopped Samaya twice already for the year, my daughter. She's going to be pissed I said that, but you're doing a good job if you're stopping her. Right? And you know, she's not happy about it, but I am because you're saving her life. You're making her aware all the time that the police are out there looking for her. She wasn't speeding. Her car is tinted to protect her, but they always stop her for the tint. But they've stopped my daughters before, and as a law enforcement, you know, one of the best enforcement officers told me one time, he said, my job is not to ticket and fine people. My job is to keep people safe. If I have to ticket and fine you in order to remind you to be safe, then that's what I'll do. And that's the attitude that we need to go on. I know you guys don't smile, but we need more smiling officers because we need a community to understand that you're working for them all the time. All these people showed up here to see you today. All of them are here for you. I want you guys to remember, just like you, a lot of people pray for me the same way because it's dangerous out there. It's a tough job. You have the responsibility, and just like me, you have a lot of power every day. You hold the decision-making that is going to change people's lives forever. And just like me, when you show up, half of them will be happy, and the other half going to be upset. Our jobs are a lot alike. Just like me, you don't get to be you anymore. Maybe your house, and even then, they'll come with a problem then. Bright and early this morning. This man said he waited the data waiting for a NOPA for 6 months. It never goes away. You know, there's a lot of days I just want to get up and be Albert, just Papito. Just walk the streets and be like a normal person. But that's not how it works. When you take that oath, you become law enforcement. Whether you like it or not, you have that responsibility to take. You know, we joke a lot about coming to VIPD, you know, with the recruits and the thing. Well, I ain't joking. See, Dwayne stand up so they could see you. This is the man you got to talk to if you want a job. But seriously, we have to think about this differently, right? And I'm talking to you folks in the other agencies especially. Everybody is a law enforcement officer. It's your job. When you took that oath, it didn't say, I must uphold the laws of the legislature. It didn't say the court or the hospital. We don't have any waste management here today, but it didn't say waste management. It says the Constitution of the United States and the laws applicable to the Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands laws. And collectively, you see, VIPD is always having problems with staffing, but collectively, I think we have enough law enforcement to really police these islands the way they need to be. I think every citizen should take that oath to do their job as a citizen, to swear to uphold the laws of the Virgin Islands and the Constitution. Because at the end of the day, this place belongs to all of us. Who does it belong to? Y'all ain't saying that with enthusiasm. Who does it belong to? And each one of us has a responsibility to our island, our home, our territory. These people work for us. They're trying to keep us safe, stop bad things from happening for us. They're not here to police us. They're here to make sure that law, order, civility is maintained. We need to remember to support them. We need to remember to tell them thank you in good times for your service and the work they do. They spend a lot of nights away from their families. They're people that love them and care about them and worry about them every single day. When I look down, I see the children, friends, aunties, uncles, parents. That's what they are. Behind these ties, us politicians are people too. Right, Javon? We need to support our community. Each one of us that goes into public service has a passion and a dedication to the people of the Virgin Islands. Sometimes it come out kind of weird, but as weird as you see these public officers, whether politicians or somebody just welcoming somebody into IRB, they have a commitment to public service. So I'm going to challenge you to have the kind of passion and dedication to the craft like Cornelius. Cornelius slammed me a ticket the other day, my son. You don't even remember that. That's when I was driving. Don't take it personally. This is not personally. You upholding the law. I want you to be a police like that. I want you to have that foresight and that brilliance like a Novell Francis, who went all the way through the ranks and is now at one of the highest levels of public service. I want you to be sharp like these cadres that I saw come up here. I want you to understand the commitment to the community like Captain Cologne. That's why I want you to aspire you. And to remember that every day you go out, there's somebody looking for that inspiration, just like you were looking for it from somebody else. You thank these cadres that came before you. The best way to thank them is to show your commitment to this craft, to the people of the Virgin Islands. And maybe one day you'll be up here, sitting like Commissioner Martinez, or maybe even Governor. I want to thank you again for your public service and your families for giving us and lending us your time, your patience, your effort, and maybe even their life. It's no laughing matter. When I'm at the bottom of my heart for my administration and the people I'm sure that I represent in all law enforcement, thank you again for your service. God bless you and keep you safe. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Governor, for your remarks. I always admire the fact that you don't come up here with anything, and you just belt it out as if One of these days, I'm going to be just like you. I now call on Pastor Briscoe for the benediction.
Hallelujah. God, we glorify you and we honor you once again for this day, for your blessing. We thank you for all our ears have heard. We thank you for what our eyes have seen. We thank you, God, for the leaders and for the leadership, oh God, of our community. I pray right now that you look down upon these, oh God, who have heard the call and have answered, oh God, and have a desire to serve. I pray by faith that you cover them, God, from the crown of their heads to the sole of their feet. I pray, God, in the going out and in the coming in, that you would bless them. I pray, God, hallelujah, in the down setting, in the uprising, that you, oh God, would give your angels charge round about them to keep them, oh God, safe, oh Father, in the matchless name of Jesus. It is our prayer even now, God, that you would bless each and every one of them, that you would keep them, that you would cause your face to shine upon them. I pray now, God, that you will lift up your countenance upon them and grant them peace. And for this we say thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Eagle Knights. Class 2022-1. Governor, Commissioner, members of the platform, I ask you to go around in the front and greet the newest members of our law enforcement team, members of the 34th Legislature, and members in the audience may also join in. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room off to your left, there will be refreshments served. We thank you for being here. We thank you for lending us your time today and your attention to this class and this effort. Have a very pleasant day.